This is the tale of two teammates. Friends. Rivals. One has seen its success, being dominant at the beginning and now looking as if the light is starting to fade out. The other started a little out of sorts, but is flying towards the end with authority. This is the tale not told by words, but by actions. We've seen surprises, shocks, the sensational and the stunning. We have seen title contender after title contender fall by the wayside till just two remain. Think about those who have shown promise. You look at Julian Janoski, 8 race wins. You look at Alex Everett, 3 podiums at Laguna Seca. Kip the Hairflick Stevens, ever the consistent driver. But what about Jack McIntyre, Roy Paveka, Nathaniel Simpson, Aldo Massa, Ashley Blakehood? You name the names, they've all scrapped, they've all dug in, they've all clawed to try and be the best. But this time, it's all about the discovery. Pete Newman, who has been on top from almost day one, took the title lead at Okayama and has never looked back. And then there's Diogo Melro, the man who has been throwing caution to the wind and pulling rabbits out of hats. There will, however, be one constant though. This title is being decided in the land of the rising sun, and we are going to see the title won or lost here in Suzuka, and on famous ground, which has seen drama, the likes of which that has gone down in folklore. Tonight we create our own folklore. This series has thrown a twist and turn at every juncture, and it will not stop here. You wait for the lights to go from red to green. This is rounds 34 to 36 of your BSR MSA Kia World Series. Lights on, lights out. Welcome everybody here on iRacing Live. This is an Apex Racing TV production. Jake Sparey and Conrad Venter here in the commentary box. 10-minute qualifying is underway right now, and we have to look here at your championship standings because Pete Newman, despite all the drama at Phoenix, he has gained 2 points. 22 points, Conrad says he's the better driver at the moment.
Yeah, 22 points doesn't seem like a lot, but we've almost watched Diogo Melro from Okayama trying to close that gap, and since then, which I think Okayama's round 2, he's only managed to do it by about 20 points, so he's got some work on his hands tonight, and it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yes, most certainly. As we quickly look at the team's championship, all decided Discovery have won that one, but the battle for second is hotting up because the Kumre team there and Euro are split by just 36 points. Now, interesting to note here, Conrad, is that Kumre only have one driver here today at the moment. And you look at Euro, they've got 2 drivers, which means double points, which means Euro most likely will take second.
Yeah, the Welsh team was in action in the football championship, or the European football championships earlier today, so dare I say a couple of them is out celebrating after that win. And the Euro guys drafting in all their drivers or some drivers, and yeah, they're looking good for second place at the moment.
Yes, most certainly here. You can see the time start to come in. Diogo Melro, 2:07.5, fastest man at the moment here, where you can see just how everyone needs to make a name for themselves, needs to make sure that their qualifyings are up there on point. And there are a couple of names here, Conrad, a couple of names which will surprise a couple of you here. 2 of the quickest men in the Kia Optima are heading themselves in. First, Mr. Stelian Chepelevsky, who has shown the world exactly what he's made of. We've seen him in all sorts of races. We've seen him in the Pro Series as well, show his world-class thing. And, well, the other driver is a certain BTCC driver, and his name goes by Ashley Sutton.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the viewers are very familiar with those 2 drivers, especially if they've been following the Pro Series for a while. And yeah, having a real-life BTCC driver in the field, I can't complain about that.
Certainly not. Let's look at Stelian Chepelevsky then in the number 15, heading himself down to a very congested hairpin corner now. You can see the cars ahead starting to scrap themselves out, look for position there, runs a little bit wide there, just avoids the Euro car on the inside as he heads through 200 degrees right now. That's Nathaniel Simpson he's just passed, and now you can see it's all starting to take effect here as he heads himself to run down to the double apex left-hander of Spoon. So difficult here. On the brakes, down to 3rd gear, you can see running at 85 mile an hour, small acceleration before you hit the brakes once again, before you then see that off-camber corner then start to rise, and now you hit this back straightaway. You pass the East Pits on the right-hand side, and your run now is all important because you head to the fabled 130R. Surprisingly a left-hander, but then you design the corner backwards. It doesn't really matter. Into the left-hander there. Small lift there as he heads to 122 miles an hour, and then you hit the Casio triangle for what will be the end of the lap. Down hard on the brakes. You can see he takes a lot of curb there on the inside for the first corner, a lot of curb on the second, trying to minimize everything he possibly can. Drive to the line. There you can see. Let's see if Stelian Chepelevsky can set a really good lap time. Answer is no. He has made an off track at some stage there, Conrad, which is a little bit worrying for him, seeing as he needs to get a great lap time.
Yeah, I'm sure he can't be too disappointed. It's the last event of the series, and I mean, just showing face for a little bit of fun. So I mean, if he starts at the back, it's not the end of the world. At least we can get one of the quickest drivers in the Kia to possibly drive his way through the field.
Yes, most certainly we can. And well, just looking further back right now, Jack McIntyre then, I believe he is on an outlap right now, heading himself through 130R. He comes along in the Bermuda car now. We saw exactly what Jack McIntyre could do last time out at Phoenix Road here, Conrad. Of course, he completely decimated the field, and if it wasn't for 1,000th of a second compared to Julian Janowski, he would have taken the kitchen sink.
Yeah, he was on fire last week, and hopefully we can see him drive in the same manner this week as well. It will certainly throw the cat among the pigeons with Melrose and Newman trying to get as many points as possible out of each race.
Yes, most certainly here as you look at the clock ticking down, 2 minutes coming up right now. And now you have to say here that Pete Newman has one opportunity then to set a representative lap time here. He's going to come across the start-finish line right about now here to open up his account for his first lap. He can see the run down towards turns 1 and 2, otherwise known as the first bend here at this circuit of Suzuka here in Mie Prefecture, Japan. Down on the brakes into the right-hander there, slip it down into third, slip it down now into second here as you head yourself second part of the apex. And now you hit this very, very difficult S section here, Conrad. It's all about throttle control here. It's all about trying to hold as much top speed as you can without running too wide here and taking to those very elusive, very short runoff areas.
Yeah, it's really a section where, like you say, you've got to carry momentum through there. If you push it too hard and you just get offline a little bit, you spend the whole part of this SS section plus the Dunlop curve just trying to get the car back, and all the time while you're doing that, you're going to be losing time.
Yes, most certainly you can see into the first Degner, and the right-hander runs a little bit wide there, just keeps it on track though as he heads into the second Degner here. Second right-hander down, second gear, now on the accelerators. He heads to that hairpin once again. We've already stated here, Pete Newman's going to be in a little bit of no man's land. We're just going to see who the driver, the last one's going to come across the line is. It's going to be Max Wright as he heads himself now through Spoon Corner right now. You have to say, Max Wright, 8th position at the moment isn't bad, but we've still got many quick names who haven't set a lap time, so it's going to be interesting to see what the fallout will be across the line.
Yeah, and Pete Newman will be hoping for a really decent time when he crosses the line. Otherwise, if none of these names, such as Sutton and Chepelevsky, have qualified, he's going to find himself at the back of the grid with those guys fighting people that he shouldn't really be fighting right now.
Yes, most certainly you can see Max Wright, the clock ticking down 10 seconds. Jack McIntyre, pole position, 2:07, 1:26, has one more lap. Max Wright will get one more lap by my clock. If reckoning's correct, yes he will. Max Wright crossed the line, 2:09.9, not quick enough. Pete Newman then, he'll be the first of the drivers here to set a representative lap time here. He hasn't set one yet, and his championship rival here, he's second in qualifying. It's so crucial. The drive to the line coming along, final corner. Pete Newman, can he do anything? Answer for the number 10 machine is a 2:08 flat. A 2:08.043. He goes fifth. Of all things, Roy Viveka not on a lap time. He will not set anything. Stelian Chepelevsky then we'll look back to here, Conrad, heading himself down the back straightaway right now to 130R. He's really got to pull something out the hat right now.
Yeah, he does. He's only got this one shot, but I don't think we can underestimate that lap that Pete Newman has just posted. I mean, we know he's been having some equipment troubles through the week, and just coming into the session very late without any practice and setting a lap like that is something just a little bit special.
Yes, Pete Newman's been struggling with gearbox issues and also has been struggling with other issues with the engine as well. Stelian Chepelevsky does not set a lap time then. Peter Van Gool, his lap time will certainly not be any quicker. Lorne Murray then, he'll make his drive to the Casio Triangle right now, down on the brakes, into the right-left. Let's see how much curb he takes. Not really too much into the first part, takes quite a bit in the second part there, but he just had to correct himself a little bit through that section there. Got a little bit of a twitch on as he drives to the line here. Let's see what Lord Murray's number 70 can do. 2:08.2. He goes quicker, but gains no positions in the process here. Kip the hair flick Stevens, number 40 now. Conrad, it's been made public here that he backs Diogo Mero to win over Pete Newman, and he's been doing everything in his power to try and get Pete Newman further back down that grid. Let's see what he can do in his qualifying. I think it's not going to be quick enough just by how he's accelerating. We'll see when he comes to the line. Answer is 2:08.2. He does go quicker. He goes 7th.
Yeah, and that means he's going to line up right behind Pete Newman on the grid. So Pete Newman's going to have a whole review mirror full of Kip Stevens.
Yes, most certainly there. Max Wright is the last guy to come across the line. We can now give you your official classified results here for what is this round 34 qualifying session here at the circuit of Suzuka. Jack McIntyre then puts his Bermuda car on pole, joined with championship contender Diogo Mero alongside. Adam Hadfield there for the Cymru team puts his car third, with Peter Van Gool, a fantastic qualifying for him, in fourth. Championship leader Pete Newman's up on row 3 alongside Nathaniel Simpson. Kip the hair flick there in 7th with Lorne Murray alongside. Cesare Rizzo, understated qualifying for him, he's 9th. Max Wright 10th. Rick Scott 11th, and 4 drivers not setting a lap time. Julian Janowski, Roy Vervaker, Ashley Sutton, and Stelian Shepelewski. Well, the session now just has 15 seconds to run itself down. Then qualifying will be over. It will then all be about just trying to get yourself as close as you can to the front. Of course, after that, there is up to 2 minutes to qualify on that grid. Otherwise, you start in pit lane, and pit lane will be where nobody, and I mean nobody, will want to start in this 15-car grid right now. There you can see right now just how important it is. Get your fuel levels right, get everything correct here. Predictions for your race here, Conrad. Who do you think is going to take the gold?
Oh, we've got some really quick people in here. It's really difficult to call. Jack McIntyre has been driving really well. I'd bag him to start from the front and finish there as well.
I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to say Ashley Sutton is going to put his car into the winning position. Of course, he might be starting from the back, but looking at his practice times, he was 0.8 of a second quicker than anybody else on circuit. If there's anyone to back, it surely got to be the BTCC driver. There you can see the cars lining up. The tarmac here, of course, is going to suit the drivers on the left-hand side of the grid, so people who qualified in an odd number position. That's because that's where the racing line is, that's where the track is rubbered in more, and they're going to get a better getaway off the start instead of being on the dirty side of the circuit. There you can see Jack McIntyre and Diogo Mero then side by side. Diogo Mero needs to get some clean races and needs to score some fantastic points as well. Here as you look further back, Pete Newman we are waiting on at the moment here as we're ticking into our 2nd minute right now. We're seeing everyone just trying to be wary. Of course, it's 20 minutes, no pit stops. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be careful. The tyres will go off later on into your run, so you have to be incredibly close, incredibly careful about how you take those opening laps. There you can see he grids himself up, and I believe everybody is on grid. Are they? Answer is no. Waiting for Julian Janowski and Roy Vervaker then in the back of the pack here. They're going to get themselves 20 seconds here to grid themselves up. Otherwise, it will be pit lane for them. There is Roy Vervaker. Where is Julian Janowski? That's the question here. Will he start from pit lane? That's going to be an interesting question here. Got 10 seconds. Engines starting to get impatient. Engines starting to get revving. Round number 34 is going to be happening very soon. Answer is how soon? We're going to see the iRacing gantry light up in just a second. Engines are up and underway. We are racing here at Suzuka, and it's been a great start then for Jack McIntyre. Poor one for Hadfield. Pete Newman's got a stormer, trying to make it 4 wide round the outside. Oh, there's touching, and there's contact already, and Pete Newman's involved. Van Gool on his head, and there you can see it's all gone wrong. Rizzo, secondary contact there with one of, I believe, the Highlander cars who has just gone up and spun. It's all kicked off at the beginning. I believe that's Rick Scott that's turned himself around, and already the championship is starting to hit more contact. Lorne Murray now starts to take to the grass here, and he will have to take a slowdown penalty alongside it. Already you can see just how it's affected everyone. McIntyre out and away. Diogo Mero here, Conrad. He's got a clean start. So crucial.
Yeah, he's away in 2nd. Pete Newman managed to keep going, but he took a heavy hit on the front left of the car. And he is currently sat down. Oh, he started 5th. Oh, it looks like he's still running in 5th, which I I can't think that he's going to be without damage on that car though.
Yes, and what you got to remember is he's got the two quick boys behind him, Chepelewski and Sutton. Sutton here, he's going to move to the outside here, and well, there's going to be no resistance then from Stelian Chepelewski. He's going to let the move happen very, very quickly. Bit of a lock-up there into the hairpin. There goes Pete Newman, and now he's got to be a little bit careful here. He's got Ashley Sutton behind him, and he certainly doesn't want to take out a BTCC driver, and he certainly doesn't want to dent his championship anymore. He's been lucky. He's back where he started, into Spoon. They come along for the first time, and already, Conrad, you can see a bit of a wiggle. The pressure really telling as the BTCC driver now makes the move, as Pete Newman actually runs a little bit wide, and they're side by side to 130R.
Yeah, I wonder if we're not going to see Pete Newman in the pits for to get some repairs on that car. I mean, he's got to play the percentage game right now. Just need to have these guys that came in for just this race tonight, just to be a little bit careful as well. They need to be aware that there's two guys fighting for a championship here.
Most certainly there. Kip Stevens running incredibly wide there through 130R. He'll take an off-track penalty point there, and he will try and push himself as much as he can. Of course, the limit's 17, and once you hit 17, then that's it. You are disqualified and out of this race. I believe Julian Janowski did not make the start. I believe Julian Janowski did not make the race. So, Pete Newman right now, he finds himself in 6th. Stelian Chepelewski behind, inside, into turn number 1. Chepelewski looks, Chepelewski takes, and now Pete Newman's struggling here. He's dropping considerable points to his rival Diogo Mauro, who puts himself up in 2nd at the moment. And something to note here, Conrad, Jack McIntyre's not got away by any stretch, so Diogo Mauro really on the money right now.
Yeah, he's only a 2nd behind McIntyre, and Malro will do well to just to stay within that 2nd to make full use of the draft as well done. Is some of these long straights that we've got.
Yes, most certainly. Ashley Sutton looking at Kip Stevens, having to do it the long way around at Degner. That's going to be a risky one. It's one line Bitzel on the brakes, and he's going to have to run wide. They both run wide in apart, and now they head themselves down into the 2nd Degner, and Ashley Sutton gets the better run here as Kip Stevens can't do anything about it. Great battle between the two. Track limits used just so much there, but Ashley Sutton using all of his experience to get himself up into 4th position.
Yeah, you've got Chepelewski right behind Stevens after all of that as well. And you got to think that Mauro is sitting there looking at his relative timing screen and seeing the likes of Sutton and Chepelewski coming for him.
Yeah, you've got to be worried here because that's going to affect the points. There is a bit of a touch there from Kip Stevens on Ashley Sutton. That's going to bring in Chepelewski here into the left-hander, 2nd part of Spoon there. Got to be cautious on that exit. And now the run to 130R, the slipstream. It's always going to be favouring Kip the Hairflick Stevens right now. Here we go, underneath. That slipstream, he comes along. Will he move to the inside? A little bit of a defensive line taken here, and they're going to get close, but it's going to be no cigar here for what is. Kip the Hairflick Stevens keeps himself alongside. Might have a look then into the Casio triangle. No, breaks early. Chepelewski seizing the opportunity to the inside, and he'll take that place very comfortably there. And well, that's just a case there, Conrad, of Kip Stevens sleeping, and it's very rare that you see something like that happen.
Yeah, he'll be a little frustrated with himself. He could have covered the inside there easily and possibly keep hold of that position. But yeah, like I said, maybe a little bit asleep behind the wheel and losing that spot.
Peter Van Goor then's turned his car sideways. He's just come back out of pit lane. He'll wait for all the traffic to come along. And well, Kip Stevens looking still on Stelian Chepelewski right now, having a fantastic scrap at the moment here. And well, what's got to be remembered is Diogo Mauro just had a massive slide through turn number 2 there. He has dropped a considerable amount of time then to Jack McIntyre. This is how your field looks so far. It's McIntyre, Melrose, Simpson, Sutton, Chepelewski, Stevens, Newman, Wright. That is your top 8 at the moment. Roy Viveka's moved up into 9th ahead of Adam Hadfield, and that is so crucial here in the battle for 2nd because Hadfield, he'll be scoring less points than both of the Euro cars.
And important to note as well that Malro, with that mistake he made, has got Sutton only 3.5 seconds behind him. Simpson is there only a 1.5 seconds. But Sutton and Chepelewski is going to be coming up to the back of him very quickly as Chepelewski just locks up a little bit going into the hairpin.
Yes, he does there, but it hasn't really affected his run too much. He's still within that slipstream, that 1 second barrier of Ashley Sutton ahead of him now. What does have to be mentioned right now is Pete Newman. There is a championship fight, and well, he's got Max right there in a number 50 machine behind. And actually, Pete Newman's going to run himself just that little bit wider there through Spoon the opening half. Second half of the corner, you can see everyone getting tighter on the apex, and now you're going to see the slipstream come into effect. Max right here is going to gain some time, but we don't quite know how much here down the back straightaway. We don't know how much damage is on Pete Newman's car. He's down in 7th, and at the moment, 5 places difference. That is going to cause massive troubles for him in his championship. It's going to give him a big dent, but the important thing here, Conrad, is he'll start ahead of his teammate when it comes to the next race.
That's very true, but just looking at the points allocation, the difference between 2nd and 7th place is 13 points. So if things stay as they are right now, the gap is going to come down to just 9 points going into race 2. I was just going to pile the pressure a little bit more onto Pete Newman.
Sorry there, a little bit of rubbing and racing between Nathaniel Simpson and Ashley Sutton there into turn number 1. Simpson in the end has to yield the position. Sutton giving racers room being none, and now Chepelewski wanting a look. Sorry to cut over you like that, but that was so close. That could have ended in so many tears. It's unbelievable. Look to the inside for Chepelewski. Oh, he just doesn't quite have the nose.
Yeah, certainly Sutton and Chepelewski really on a charge at the moment, and Pete Newman's going to be hoping that they've got enough pace on them to catch Diogo Melro as well and pass him, just to minimise or limit the damage that he's going to take in the points.
Yes, most certainly, but you've got to look here at Nathaniel Simpson here, because it just seems that Stelian Chepelewski can't find a way past the resolute Bristolian here, where you have to remember Chepelewski now losing the back of Ashley Sutton, and you've got to actually look here to your leaders as well, because Diogo Melro is right there with Jack McIntyre. McIntyre still can't get away. You've got to remember, we're only 1/4 of the way through this race. We're expecting 10 laps, and of course, when the 20-minute timer expires, that means that there will be the final lap on those 20 minutes expiring here. Into Spoon they come along once again. Massive gain there under the brakes for Chepelewski here on Nathaniel Simpson, and Simpson's got to stay calm. He might have an incredibly quick driver here who's got a fantastic run out the exit, but you do have to remember here that Chepelewski is brand new to the setup, and he'll be brand new and still learning out where to push the boundaries, Conrad.
Yeah, and he might be struggling a little bit as well. He's got some damage on the right-hand side to the front of the car, so all might not be well with the handling, but Simpson runs wide through 130R. So that's going to give Chepelewski they're going to go side by side through the chicane, but he makes it stick.
Yeah, it doesn't quite happen there for Nathaniel Simpson. Ran himself wide, and now he's got to deal with Kip the Hairflick Stevens just behind that as well. Pete Newman still leading the train of Max Wright. Roy Vervaeke now starting to jump onto the back of that one. Not ideal. Defensive goes Nathaniel Simpson right now. Gap at the front, 0.6 of a second. Stevens looking at the outside at turn number 1, trying to do something very similar. There's contact, and Kip Stevens he collects the barrier, and that is going to be very, very unfortunate. He will drop himself down the order now, and he will fall down even further, but that is not ideal if you're someone looking like Pete Newman. Of course, there is beef between them, and in the second race it will mean that Pete Newman will have to make the pass somewhere.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Pete Newman will not mind seeing cars flying off the track in front of him at all. All that means is 3 positions and 3 points.
Yes, that's also a very key factor right now, but Diogo Melro's holding station at the moment. You can see just getting into the rhythm right now, into the right of Degner 2. The leaders come along a little bit wider. There goes Jack McIntyre. Of course, the Nürburgring Nordschleife world record holder in a Kia Optima, which is an incredible feat in its own right, and now you can see just how important things are there. A little bit of a trail break, a little bit of puff of smoke coming up off of that Bermuda machine, and you can see right now McIntyre heading through 200 right. He's doing everything right at the moment here, Conrad. He's just got to stay calm and collected, and the rewards will reap themselves.
Yeah, and Melro is really close, getting up really close to the back of McIntyre as well. That gap has come down by another 10th. It's just half a second now.
Yeah, you can see exactly just how close it is. Let's look further behind though, because Pete Newman is under threat again from Max right there. A lot closer than it has been here as you look down this back straightaway once again. One of the prime overtaking opportunities. Not quite happening at the moment, I don't think. Here as we look here at Pete Newman here, he's just going to have to be careful here, because down to the inside he's going to have a look here, and they're going to go side by side down into 130R, and well, Pete Newman's going to lose 1 position. He might lose 2 to Vervaeke. He won't for the time being, but now he's in trouble. He's in a sandwich. He's got to be incredibly careful about where he treads, Conrad.
Yeah, and you can just see that car of him with the damage he's carrying, how much straight line speed he's losing down these straights. I mean, we could see Mauro gaining on McIntyre as they were going down on the run down to 130R, but Pete Newman was just a sitting duck, really.
Yes, most certainly there, and that is not ideal for his first race here. Diogo Mauro still within range of Jack McIntyre. Gap stay across the line was just a shade under half a second, so it's still plausible in range, but Ashley Sutton is closing. Take a look at the lap times, 2:07.4, 2:07.3, 2:06.6 from Ashley Sutton. Sutton's on a charge and could be a benefactor later on in this race. He could be someone who's going to steal some points. We are over halfway right now, and that means there are about 5 laps to go here as you look again here at this run through this curve here, as we look again at Pete Newman right now. He's in a position where he needs to push, needs to score some points, but points aren't coming to him, Conrad, and if he's losing time like this, it's just going to be about stopping that unstoppable tide behind him of Roy Vervaeke.
Yeah, and with every position that he loses, he's losing points as well. And like I mentioned, he was if he finishes 7th, Mauro 2nd, that's 13 points. When he was up into 6th place, that gap would only have been decreased by 11 points. I mean, it's back to 13, and he's looking at losing another 2 points if Vervaeke gets past him.
Yeah, most certainly here. We're going to stay with this one here as Pete Newman is still looking quite close here on the back of Max Wright. Hasn't got away in the way that he would have thought he could have done here into the left-hander. Spoon, the double apex left-hander. You can see runs a little bit wider there does Max Wright. That's going to allow Pete Newman back onto the back here. So this scrap's certainly not over and done with for the time being. On the power then, on the throttle, max it out. Go up through the gears, into 3rd, into 4th. Now you're going to hit 5th. He's going over 135 miles an hour here, 140 miles an hour, 145 as you head to the brakes at 130R. Just a small lift here, 30 miles an hour. You can see already just how Pete Newman's closing the gap. Look at Vervaeke charge on the brakes. He goes for the inside, and well, he makes the move sorted. Does he? No, they're going to remain side by side into the second part of the Casio triangle, but no, has to wait behind here, Conrad. But the run down the front straightaway, Newman's in trouble.
Yeah, I think he's really struggling with the handling of the car now, especially as they get into the last quarter of the race. And yeah, he went through 130R, and he was really slow coming out of it, really struggling.
Yeah, most certainly they're just losing out on all that high-end speed right now. But we're going to go up to the front, go up to the leaders right now, because look at the gaps. Ashley Sutton sitting on the back of Melrose and McIntyre. Not what they wanted by any stretch of the imagination now. And with what is going to be 4 laps to go, it's just going to be a waiting game here for McIntyre and Melrose here. For Ashley Sutton, the ever-impressive one, to go and put himself through. You can see through Degner 1, through Degner 2. Again, a 2:06.4 that time by. It just shows you just how quick he's going. That's his fastest lap of the race. That's the fastest lap of the race here as he heads himself now down in towards the left-hander of the chicane. Not the chicane, the hairpin even, but you can see right now just how close he got to the back of Melrose. Melrose getting that better run, and that will keep him the saving grace into Spoon.
You've got to wonder what's going through Melrose's mind at the moment. Is he going to put up a huge fight against Sutton to keep hold of 2nd position, or will he let him through and hopefully McIntyre and Sutton can get into each other in the last 3 laps and possibly give him a win if they get together. Accidents happen.
Yes, they do, and well, he's going to think about it here because Ashley Sutton is right tucked underneath right now here of Diogo Mero, possibly looking at the inside at 130R, not happening. The slipstream train starting to form on the brakes into a 130R, and now you can see the run. Melrose's going to have to go defensive, possibly down onto the brakes. Sutton's going to have a look though. He goes to the inside, and well, Melrose lets him have it very comfortably. He says, go chase Jack McIntyre, go make the move that we know you can make, and he will be in a position there. Simpson runs himself wide down at the Casio triangle, recovers the car nicely there, but Pete Newman here, you can see just how much time he's dropped, but still Roy Vervaeke behind here, Conrad.
Yeah, I think Newman is doing extremely well keeping Vervaeke around, and we've seen the damage that Newman is carrying, and we've seen how slow the car is in a straight line, and holding on to 7th place at the moment. It's difficult, but he's managing.
Yes, most certainly then into turn number 1 we'll see. Just look at the closing speed there from Roy Vervaeke there. A lot more than what was happening with Pete Newman here into turn number 1. Lap times for Pete Newman, a 2:08.7 that time by. Compare that to that qualifying, it was a 2:08 flat that he did. So that is equivalent of 1 second slower than what we know he can do. His lap times in the last 3 laps have been 2:10.2, 2:10.2, 2:09.6 and 2:08.7. So he is trying to stop this curve, this trend. He is getting quicker. He is getting used to the damage here, Conrad. But at the moment, as they head through Dunlop Curve, which took the life of the late, great Jules Bianchi, it just has to be... See something there, Conrad?
Sorry, Sutton on McIntyre going into their hip and just rubbing doors a little bit. They've managed to survive it and come out of it. But yeah, McIntyre is not going to give up the lead easily here for Sutton.
Certainly not. You can see run down into Spoon, then they'll come along. This is certainly going to be interesting right now. On the brakes they go, and well, there's no room there for the first part of the corner. Is there going to be room for the second part? McIntyre's going to plant the car nicely there on the brakes. It's going to be a world record holder versus a BTCC driver. Now, who'd have thought this one was coming here? Ashley Sutton for the race lead. He will have himself 2 laps to go when he crosses the line next. And well, you can see, looking at 130R, looking at the inside. No, not going to happen. Down on the brakes, but there is an opportunity to the Casio Triangle. Runs a little bit wider there. Does Jack McIntyre is going to force him to go the outside line here on the brakes into it, and he runs wide, runs deep, and here comes Ashley Sutton around the outside of the second, but inside for the third, brings in Diogo Mauro, race lead, Ashley Sutton, and surely he'll start walking away, but now there's a bit of trouble. There's going to be a bit of an argument, a bit of argy-bargy. Here comes back the car of Jack McIntyre. They're going to be too wide. Down in towards turn number 1. And can Ashley Sutton get the move sorted at the moment? Yes, he does. He's going to hang him out to dry there of Jack McIntyre. Melrose can't quite make the move yet, but it's all hotting up here, Conrad, for what is the final 2 laps of your motor race.
Yeah, it was a really good overtake by Sutton through the chicane there. Just showed his car to McIntyre. McIntyre outbraked himself a little bit, and Sutton used that extra space to get a good run coming out of the chicane, and then ultimately take the lead of the race.
Yes, most certainly Max Wright has made a mistake somewhere on track. He has dropped himself behind Pete Newman and Roy Viveka right now. So Pete Newman up in 6th, Diogo Mauro up in 3rd. Exactly what they want. We're going to stay with the leaders right now, because just for the time being, just for this one moment, you can see Jack McIntyre runs incredibly wide through second Degner, and now you're going to see Diogo Mauro want to make a move sooner rather than later. On the brakes, down into the left-hander then. This is the hairpin, and now 200 degrees right will come along. Of course, Daniel Kvyat in the Formula 1 Red Bull car. He managed to flip his car at the end of this 200 degree right, and well, that was one which caused a red flag in qualifying the last time they were there in F1, but now you have to see exactly what's going on right now. Into the left-hander they come along of Spoon, and it's not quite close enough for the moment, Conrad. There's going to be one more opportunity, one more lap after this, and for Diogo Mauro, it's going to be paramount to make that move.
Yeah, it's time now to get the aggression out. We've seen him all season playing it safe and keeping out of trouble. He's got nothing to lose from here on in. He's behind in the championship. He needs to make up those points. It's time to take some risks.
It's time to remember Kimi Räikkönen, because at Sochi just 1 year ago he said all or nothing, and well, he got nothing out of that on the move on Valtteri Bottas, but it's still not over and done with here. Melrose gets a horrible run out of the Casio Triangle, and now Jack McIntyre, he slips into the slipstream of Ashley Sutton, who hasn't been able to get away, does only a 2:07.4 that time by, and now you can see in the slipstream, looks to the outside, tries to dupe him, goes to the outside still though, down into turn number 1, trying to get a cut back underneath. No, not going to happen for Jack McIntyre. Still looking here as they head themselves now through the S's section right now here, into the first left here, going at about 100 miles an hour before they head themselves through, using their turbocharged engine as much as they possibly can. You can see McIntyre trying to make sure that he breaks away from Diogo Mauro. Mauro needs to be up there. He's not close enough, and if he's not careful, Stelian Chepelewski could spoil the party and steal the podium. That's going to be one you need to remember right now. But for the time being, it seemingly looks more and more like a 2-horse race. We're going to look further back. Pete Newman here, he is under threat from Roy Viveka and Max Wright. He's got Lorne Murray there for company as well. That's not going to be ideal. We're going to need to look at that one as well when the time comes to it. And actually, Roy Viveka there with a little bit of a look. Doesn't happen on Pete Newman. Back up to your leaders then. Jack McIntyre in second right now, and he's starting to drop off the pace just a little bit on the brakes. Diogo Mauro still looking for that opportunity here, and it's not quite happening then. Down into 200 degrees right they come along, and will there be an opportunity? It's going to be a brave one. It must be for Diogo Mauro. You feel now the final chance for him is down at the Casio Triangle. the final definitive overtaking place. It seems Ashley Sutton for the moment has just got everything right, everything sorted. McIntyre stayed in the tread brilliantly, so has Melrose, but Melrose not done enough. They all run incredibly wide on exit there, using all of that green AstroTurf on the outside, and where you can see the runs down, it's not going to materialise for these guys. It's not going to be an opportunity, surely. Down into 130R, they come along, and well, you have to say, Ashley Sutton's done everything right. That is Kip Stevens there, who will drop the lap right now here on the brakes, into the right-hander they come along. One more corner, the left to come along, and Jack McIntyre's trying everything to get himself through. Not going to happen here on Ashley Sutton. Oh, they going to be a drive to the line. Going to be close, but the line's too close, and it's going to be Ashley Sutton who picks up a win here in the most crucial of circumstances. For the time being, Pete Newman and Max Wright, they're going to be together, which means something's happened to Roy Vervaeke. There he is, he's slow on the back straightaway. Let's get a replay up and see exactly what has happened to him. It's happened on the run, and oh, he's tangled with Lorne Murray then, coming out of Spoon then, get close together, and oh, no room being given. Contact between the two, both of them hit the barriers, and there, Conrad, is not ideal for Roy Vervaeke.
No, it certainly is not, nor for Lorne Murray, and you can just see the car stream past them as they're stranded. And on a piece of the circuit that's really difficult to turn your car around on. But what a race we've seen. What was that gap at the end? About a tenth of a second. As a really good race to the line between Sutton and McIntyre.
Yes, most certainly there. They can see Julian Janoski in the end, 8 laps down, joining the race incredibly late. Had a few issues there to get to that grid, but it will mean he'll have to start from the back for the next one as well. And now you can see just how important everything is. Everyone's across the line. We'll run you through now your race results from what was a fantastic round 34. Ashley Sutton then takes the win from the back of the grid by 1/10 of a second over the number 41 machine of Jack McIntyre. Diogo Mero will take third and will make strides into Pete Newman's titled hopes here as he gains some very crucial points. Delian Shepelewski then will come across the line in fourth, in the end 2.4 seconds off the pace. Nathaniel Simpson will come across in fifth, with championship leader Pete Newman clawing that gap, just letting it go a little bit there in sixth place. Max Wright will finish 7th with Adam Hadfield 8th. Cesare Rizzo will finish off in 9th. Rick Scott rounds out the top 10. Then you can see Roy Vervaeke and Lorne Murray. Kip Stevens 1 lap down. Peter Van Gool 1 lap down. Julian Janoski 8 laps off the pace. Well, it certainly has been a fantastic opening race, but we will come back after these few messages, and when we do, we are going to see rounds 35 and 36 take effect right now, because this is your BSR MSA Kia World Series, brought to you by Apex Racing TV on iRacing Live. You do not want to miss it. 2 races coming up next.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back then to your BSR Kia World Series here, brought to you live on iRacing Live with Apex Racing TV. And of course, we are the BSR MSA Kia World Series. MSA because we're endorsed by the British Motorsport Association as an official series. Always great to have all that when you need it. And of course, if you want to join for next season in 2 weeks' time, which will start off at Silverstone Southern, you've got to get yourself to the BSR Kia World Series Facebook page. Link is down below in the description if you need to get yourself there. Now, of course, if you are brand new to iRacing and you need to get yourself that all-important account to get yourself off and running, you can get yourself 3 months for the price of 1 with the promotional code PR-BSRTC. And now, of course, you can get €30 off of any JCL sim racing equipment, JCL sim racing to be faster, with the product promotional code of 5VATA1KA. That's also in the description as well. Same with the promotional codes, and well, also sponsored by Crest Glazing to be all there needed for your double glazing needs up in the Scottish Highlands. Now, something very interesting to note right now here, Conrad, is the fact that the points have gone down here for Pete Newman, but at the rate of attrition at the moment, it's not going to be enough for Diogo Maro to close the gap overall.
Yeah, you just got to look at the start of the night. He needed to gain just over 7 points a race on Pete Newman. He hasn't done that in the first race, so I think it's about 16 points between them. So he's got to look at least gaining 8 points in this upcoming race.
Yes, most certainly you have to feel it is an uphill struggle then for what is Diogo Maro right now in that number 11 machine. We're going to go and look at him. He's in the pits right now, so we'll go find another driver out on circuit here. Let's look at Ashley Sutton right now here, the BSR Kia drive, well, actually the BTCC Kia driver there, as things stand at the moment here, because he won the race from the back of the grid. He'll have to start from pretty much near the back once again, and you have to feel that he didn't have too much worries in the opening laps, despite all the carnage that was going around Conrad, and he's done a very, very good job of putting himself in the right position.
Yeah, it was a very handy drive by him, coming all the way from the back to win the race. He probably would have profited from lap 1 incident between Pete Newman and co. But I mean, I don't think you can take anything away from that drive he put in race 1. It was clinical, it was clean, and yeah, well deserved.
Yeah, most certainly it was well deserved. Looking here now at Stelian Chepelevsky right now, and Stelian Chepelevsky, well, he had a quiet first race, I'll say, from Stelian's standards. He didn't push the boundaries too hard. Of course, he also started towards the back of the grid. He followed around Ashley Sutton for a while, but he just seemed to get stuck in the doldrums of what was 4th place. Couldn't catch up to the leading 3. Didn't have to worry about cars behind, and he needs to find something a little bit more special now if he's going to get a fantastic result in race 2.
Yeah, I think he was just hampered by the damage he was carrying on the car a little bit, and like I said, it just stagnated a little bit after a while. And once Sutton got a bit of a gap, he fell back a little bit.
Yes, most certainly. Practice is over then. This is how the grid looks then. Julian Janowski will put his car up on pole position with Peter Van Gool alongside. Kip the Hairflick Stevens there in 3rd. In 4th place is Lorne Murray. Roy Vervaker and Rick Scott round out row 3. Row 4, Cesare Rizzo and Adam Hadfield. Max Wright there in 9th. Pete Newman 10th. Nathaniel Simpson, Diogo Maro, Stelian Chepelevsky and Ashley Sutton. That is how everything will look in that respect. Well, this is certainly going to be a very interesting one indeed. It's going to be 14 cars on grid, then 1 minute to grid, and then we will find ourselves in our racing outfit. We will see our cars out and away. It's going to be so crucial to see everyone good. Just waiting for one car then to put himself up on grid. That is Roy Vervaker for the time being, I believe it is. Yes, it is. And well, you can see the clock ticking down more and more. There he is on grid. Round 35 then. 2 to go. Lights are on. Lights are out. We are underway. It's a very poor start from the second row for what was, I believe, Lorne Murray there. He's going to get swamped into turn 1. There's a bit of bumping of doors as well. You can see everyone's going to be trying to storm themselves down to turn 1. There is a bit of contact, and across the grass goes one of the Scottish cars, and I believe that is Rick Scott there, who just seemed to be the bumper of all of it. The front is clean, Janowski is out and away for the time being, and you can see the massive melee that's going on behind. You can see Sutton, Chepelewski, you can see everyone there, Melrose, Stevens is going to be in around there somewhere. You look at that, there's Pete Newman fronting that train. It's a massive cluster here, you have to say, Conrad, in the opening laps, and it's still not sorted itself out.
You've got a lot of eager drivers trying to make their way through the field there. Pete Newman managed to get his way through there very nicely and opening up a gap. And just behind him now is going to be Chepelewski, so he's going to get caught possibly once again, as he has to check up behind Rick Scott as they go through Degner 2.
Ashley Sutton got a massive twitch, and he is going to lose out a little bit, but he's looking at Diogo Maro, who has not made any positions. In fact, he's lost one on the runs down in, and you look at Pete Newman now, he's down the inside of Rick Scott. He's looking to push himself through the field. Battle going on then for what is second place on circuit. Peter Van Gool versus Kip the Hairflick Stevens here. Run through 200R, run down to Spoon. Stevens is going to have to wait for the time being. He knows his chance for the championship is now over and done with indefinitely. Massive slide then from Peter Van Gool down on the brake. Stevens with the inside. Here we go, Conrad, side by side as they head themselves up to 130R.
Yeah, Pete Newman's going to have a whole mirror full of Chepelewski as they go up the hill and approach the corner.
Well, it's going to be so tight, they're going to be 2x2, and behind they're 2x2 as well. Stevens on the inside, he's going to get a move sorted, but behind, Hadfield and Rizzo, they're not going to relinquish anything right now. They're still side by side on the brakes down in. Hadfield looking for a way through, not going to happen, and well, Cesare Rizzo gets everything sorted. They're still side by side ahead. Kip Stevens and Peter Van Gool, they're still going to go at it. Julian Janowski's gone out and away for the time being, but you just have to look at this one for the time being. It is Janowski, Stevens, Van Gool. It's going to be a battle of straight line speed. They're going to be even, same setup, of course. Down in towards turn number 1, side by side. And a look then from Roy Vervaker as well, side by side again. Cesare Rizzo and Adam Hadfield, they're still going to go at it. Bumpers and doors. Bang and hammer, here we go, and now you can see in towards turn number 3, Rizzo and Hadfield still side by side, bumpy at doors, still into turn 4, pushed wide there is Cesare Rizzo, and here comes Pete Newman trying to take the advantage on his teammate, and don't count out Chepelewski behind as well. He's going to try and make the move sorted, and it's all kicking off here, Conrad, because you look at Roy Vervaker now, look at the inside of Peter Van Gool through Dunlop.
Yeah, and it's it's going to look, no, he's not going to get a run into Degner 1. It'll be suicide to try to go side by side through that corner, and Peter Van Gool in front at the moment.
Yeah, most certainly here. You can see the gap already over 2.5 seconds there to Julian Janowski. He has gone out and away. 8 race wins this season. You feel if he had some great first race spins, it would be all right. And there's contact, and Cesare Rizzo's taking out his teammate just for a time being. He's going to have some damage on that one, but also that was all the catalyst of Roy Vervaker taking a massive slide. Everyone taking 6s and 7s right now, and Pete Newman's got to be careful. Here comes Nathaniel Simpson now, looking at the opportunity right now. He has really gained through the field in this lap right now, and you have to say he's doing everything he possibly can. They're all going to run wide, and through the inside, tries Chepelewski. There's contact between the two. They're close, and there's touching again. And Ashley Sutton trying to get involved now. They're all going side by side, 2 wide, 3 wide. This is stunning, Conrad.
Yeah, well, the aggression levels have certainly gone up in this race. Nobody's taking any prisoners. Chepelewski is through on Newman. Newman's got Simpson behind him, and Rizzo, yeah, he's right there behind Simpson. So it's going to be a gaggle going into the chicane and coming out of it again.
Yes, most certainly. You can see it's all going to go well, and actually there is a car veering himself wide a little bit there. That's Adam Hadfield, and then following him in sympathy is Stelian Chepelewski. Look at this train going on, and you can see already here just how much it's affecting Pete Newman. You can see side by side he has damage. Here he's losing time on that front straightaway once again. Second race in a row. But you got to look, Chepelewski and Hadfield here. The run down towards what is turn number 1 and 2 on circuit. Hadfield's going to try and run it around the outside. Too bold, too brave. Takes to the asphalt on the outside and drops a lot of positions there, and he will feel like his race is well and truly done. But Pete Newman still under threat from Nathaniel Simpson behind here, Conrad.
Yeah, Adam Hadfield has relegated himself back to the pit lane, so he is sat there probably taking repairs, but then Malro making up a place on Rizzo as well. He's up to 9th place, and what is the gap between Newman and Rizzo at the Newman and Malro at the moment?
I'd say it's under a second here, Conrad, right now as you look at them. Here they're going to be nose to tail as they head to Degner right now. Battle going on further up ahead. Chepelewski and Sutton are back together once again. Like a couple you can't separate. They've got to chase down Vervaeke, then Van Gool and Stevens, and then Julian Janowski. But it's going to be a hard task for that to happen. Going to focus here on Pete Newman because the battle for the championship all depends on this. Simpson, the only wedge here for what is the car of Diogo Melro. He's got to make his way through, and he's got to take a couple more positions with him as well. At the moment, as things stand, Pete Newman will be primed and ready in the pole position to take the championship. If things stay like this right now, heading to the final race, into Spoon then, they come along, they're all going to look down to the inside, and Melro's going to take no holds barred. He's going to look at it, and he takes it. Then that's a very forceful move down the inside, and he gave himself no opportunity to make the corner. He was very reliant there on Nathaniel Simpson as a break.
Yeah, I think Melro decided he was going to go through there, and well, there was no other options. He was taking it or nothing. And
yeah. Most certainly there, Conrad. Sorry to cut you off like that. It's all going to be down to whether Diogo Melro now can catch his teammate of Pete Newman right now. You can see already Roy Vervaeke has been caught then by the two quick guys, Sutton and Chepelewski here, the 15 there and the 16, all in pursuit of Roy Vervaeke, who still is yet to have a race win. Gap at the front has opened up to 3.5 seconds so far this race. It just shows you just how quick everyone's going to be. Vervaeke goes defensive then, down into towards number one there, excuse me for a second. Ashley Sutton waiting behind just for the time being right now. Doesn't have to make the move instantly. He can pick and choose his time. It's very difficult to believe that it's only been 3 laps, Conrad.
Yeah, that's a lot of action, enough for an entire race, and interesting to see that even though Sutton and Chepelewski has been making their way through the field, they are still catching Janowski. That gap has come down from over 7 seconds, just under about 6.8 seconds the gap to the front now.
There's contact at Roy Vervaeke, there's contact, he spins back across the circuit there. Roy Vervaeke very lucky to keep the car going, and Newman's got to get out of the way, out of the throttle. They're all getting in trouble. Sutton was involved in that one, and that one's brought everyone back close together. And now you've got to look at Diogo Melro now under pressure. He's got Roy Vervaeke on the outside, and he's got 2 Eurocars with a bit of bumping and banging. It's all going to get close. It's all going to get a little bit hot and heated in the sun here. What is the land of the rising sun here? And Diogo Melro has to lose the position here, but it's not over yet. There is behind him Nathaniel Simpson, who will be looking once again, and there is side by side as through will go Cesare Rizzo. It's not working here, but you look at Diogo Melro now, Conrad, looking again at Roy Vervaeke. Will have to do it the inside of Spoon again. The door firmly shut this time by. Here's they're all going to bunch up close. 5 within the space of half a second here.
Every time they go into one of these corners, it looks like a bunch of people panicking to get out of a building that's on fire. It's just, it gets bunched up into the corners so much.
Yeah, most certainly here, and now you can see them going to go Noah's Ark 2x2. Here, Melrose on the outside at 130R. It's going to be brave. He's got the outside here. He's going to take to the asphalt. They're all going to take to the escape lane on the outside here, just trying to make the move sorted. A little bit cheeky there. He gets the move sorted in the end, he does. And where you can see a little bit of contact there with Nathaniel Simpson and Cesare Rizzo. Rizzo will drop himself down the field. And now you have to say that has benefited Pete Newman. All that fighting has created a massive gap. And he can break, and he can boldly break away right now, because the battle's still going on behind here. As you can see, side by side, Simpson and Max Wright.
Yeah, Newman has got himself a 2.7 second gap over Melro, and Newman not too far behind Chepelewski, so if he can stay close, he can follow him up and open up that gap, and yeah, results stays there are. That gap in the championship standings will go up as well.
Most certainly you can see right now Max Wright here, he's just got the nose ahead of Nathaniel Simpson then through the third part of the S's right now, but it's still not sorted. He tries to go for the inside, which will turn to the outside for Dunlop curb. Right now he has to tuck back in, not quite happening. Nathaniel Simpson's going to have to wait, and there is a very hungry train waiting behind. 2 cars out at the moment, Adam Hadfield and Ashley Sutton. I think Adam Hadfield is back out and away again. But the story going on right now here is there is Adam Hadfield. He's going to be about lapped by Julian Janowski. And what has to be said here at the moment here, Conrad, is the fact that this race has opened up then for the title fight. Melro's not in a fight. Newman's not in a fight. It's all down to pace. A 2:11.8 meets a 2:10 flat. 1.8 seconds lost in all that scrapping.
Yeah, I think this is the first clean lap that we're going to see them run, so we'll get a better idea of where each of them are at once they cross the start-finish line. But,
Yeah,
sorry, the most frustrated guy at the moment, I think, will be Diogo Malro.
Yeah, I think he will be as well here. Just seen Lord Murray make his way through on the slow Rick Scott right now. He's got himself one place forward, and now you can see just how everyone's trying to run, just how everyone's trying to go right now. Gaps have started to open up. Not ideal at all here as we head to the end of lap number 5 here. The halfway stage is just about upon us here as we're looking at Roy Vervaeke dealing with Max Wright and Nathaniel Simpson, his teammate behind, of course. No team orders there applied. He's going to be looking to try and get himself in the right position he possibly can. But for the time being, that one is not going to materialise, I don't think, down the front straight away. Let's just get a gap then. Pete Newman, 2:08.4. That time by Diogo Malro. He does a 2:08.1 here, Conrad. He gains 0.3 of a second, but 0.3 of a second in 5 laps. That's not going to work with the gap that's already there.
No, most certainly not. It's, I mean, it only equates to about a second and a half by the end of the race, and he's still 2.4 behind. Malro is going to need Newman to get into some sort of fight with someone, and a big one as well.
Yeah, most certainly, but the guys ahead, Stelly and Chepelewski, he is chasing down Peter Van Gogh. Contact behind, though. Max Wright, he gets himself sliding about 45 degrees perpendicular to the circuit here with Nathaniel Simpson there in tow. That's going to cause the gap to open up here for what is Roy Vervaeke. And now, Conrad, what has to be said is Roy Vervaeke doing the right thing, staying out of trouble, but you're fighting for all these so important points, and they know they've got second in the championship now in the bag for the constructors. They have that lease of freedom, but it's just starting to trip everyone up.
Yeah, and I think you have a lot of guys that might not have picked up a podium or a win so far this season. So, like you said, the aggression levels are going to go up, and from here on in, with most of the championships decided, it's every man for himself.
Oh, through the inside, tries to go Stelly and Chepelewski then on Peter Van Gogh, and Van Gogh runs wide at the first part. He's trying to hold the nose for the second part, but Chepelewski gets close. There's a little bit of bumping and banging, but through will go Chepelewski there. There was a little bit of quarter panel action there, but it wasn't enough to send the car spinning. Chepelewski gets himself up into the podium then, but Van Gogh's not done. He wants to look at the inside of Chepelewski. Bold move indeed, not going to happen. But now you see that gap starting to open up. It's 4.5 seconds to Julian Janowski from Kip Stevens, and well, he's hoping to get a little bit of luck, but a little bit of luck is starting to run out here, Conrad.
Yeah, and Pete Newman has got a little bit of an opportunity as well. It's that fight between Van Gogh and Chepelewski has just meant that he managed to close the gap up to Van Gogh just over a second. Malro is catching as well, going another 0.3 of a second quicker than Newman. But yeah, Newman putting himself in a good position here to make up another spot and get a car between him and Malro.
Yeah, most certainly you can see the gap starting to come down. And well, for Pete Newman, he's going to be in a little bit of worry here. If he can't get the move sorted quickly, he knows that Diogo Malro will be ready to pounce. The gap is 2 seconds when they cross the line. 2 seconds in 3 laps can evaporate, especially on a long track like this here of Suzuka. Of course, it's over a 2-minute lap you're looking at here, and what you're going to see is it's all about 3 different parts. The first part, tight and twisty, all about control. Second part, it's all about in slow, out fast. The third part, high speed and very good braking as well. It's so important. Pete Newman on the back then of Peter Van Gogh. Gap around half a second right now. It's not working out for him just for the time being. So you have to say here, it's just a game of waiting here, Conrad.
Yeah, we've still got just under 6 minutes left in the race. Track temperatures up from the first race, so tyres are going to take a bit more of a beating as well. Pete Newman taking a very tight line around the hairpin and getting ever so closer to the back of Peter Van Gogh.
Yeah, you can see right now through 200 right here just how Pete Newman is trying to pull himself in. It's not quite working for the time being. We're going to stay with them here as they head down to spoon into the left-hander, and again you're going to see Peter Van Gogh run a little bit wide here. That's going to close that gap down here for what is Pete Newman here. Let's just look further behind because they got 4 in a train right now. Cesare Rizzo looking incredibly close then to the back of what is, I believe, Law Murray right now. So fantastic scrap going on for the lower points. Very crucial to get as much as you possibly can give in this series right now here, especially when points are vital. Scraps are important here as you look here, and actually running wide there, I believe it's Peter Van Gogh. Through will go Pete Newman. He's up into 4th, and he gets another car in between. A gap so crucial, Conrad.
Yeah, but let's not forget, just look behind them as Diogo Malro. He's right up. Gap between him and Van Gogh is under a second now as well. You got to believe that Melrose chasing really, really hard.
Yeah, you really do have to think. Look, a 2:08.3 from Diogo Melro, a 2:08.7 from Pete Newman. That's another 4/10. But when you got 3 laps to go like there is right now, there just got a little bit of a miscalculation there. It's just not enough at the moment. 1.6 seconds. I think he can close up to the back. It's just a case of getting everything sorted. He's got to clear Peter Van Gool as quickly as he possibly can. But something to note here is the ladder laps come down in. Stelian Chepeleski is closing down here, Conrad, on Kip the Hairflick Stevens. And the battle for second could reward some fantastic points if it all goes awry.
Yeah, the gap is, like I say, is just about a second now. Chepelevski closing in all the time, and we're going to see a battle between those two before too long.
Yeah, most certainly here. Looking back, Max Wright and Nathaniel Simpson as they run down towards the first Degner then. The right-hander down a gear into third. Then you hit the brakes again, down a gear into second here. And what you can see running very wide there is Max Wright. He's going to have to be very careful about where he places the car now, because Nathaniel Simpson will be up all over him like a heat rash. Down onto the brakes, into the left-hander, runs a little bit wide there. Does Max Wright, opens the door. Here comes Nathaniel Simpson trying to do it around the outside at 200R. Going to be brave, has to slip back in line for the time being, but that gap is coming down more and more. Blocked on the outside, looks to the inside, blocked again. Running a very good middle line there is Max Wright. On the brakes they go, down into Spoon. Not going to happen, Conrad.
No, not at all. We've got Chepelevski. He is down on the inside as they come to 130R with Kip Stevens.
Stevens is going to run the outside. Oh, he keeps it there. And Chepelevski gave the room, and that's very, very kind of him. But now you can see down on the brakes, down into the right left. You can see Chepelevski having a massive scrap right now. A little bit of bumping and banging, but you've got to look behind. Diogo Melro and Pete Newman, they are within a second of each other now. And Diogo Melro smelling blood here on Peter Van Gool. Look up further ahead, Chepelevski once again. He's right tucked in under the car of Kip Stevens. Moves to the inside, down at turn number 1. And this one's going to be like a pastry, is it? No, he's going to try and run it around the outside. It's all about battle of brakes. They get so close, but Chepelevski still has to stay behind. Great work from the 2-time Pro Series champion Kip Stevens. He's showing his worth in all its spectacular glory, Conrad.
Yeah, he's really brought his A game tonight, but just look behind him as well. While they are battling away, Newman is going to be catching up with them. Melro is through on Peter Van Gool as far as I can see.
Yeah, they can see exactly what has just gone on right now. Diogo Melro and Pete Newman, championship rivals, will be now scrapping it out for pure position on circuit. This is what it could boil down to at the end. You just got to stay calm, stay vigilant here. Melro's got to make the move. They're side by side though, through Degner ahead. Stevens still holding on. Chepelevski trying to do everything to get himself through. It's not happening at the moment. Down on the brakes into the hairpin. No, not going to happen. Melro's looking. No, that's not going to happen either. So we got 2 fantastic battles. One for the podium, one for the championship. Poor run by Pete Newman right now. Heads himself through 200R, and Conrad, they are going to be side by side as they head themselves to Spoon, and that's going to be so crucial. Melro goes straight around the outside and does a fantastic job of it.
I'm pretty sure Pete Newman was playing the averages game there. Looking at his car, it looked like he lifted off before they got to Spoon to let Melro through. Which, considering the circumstances, very generous.
Yeah, most certainly. Playing the percentages, Alain Prost-esque. Gonna look up, side by side, battle for second. Here comes Chepelevski to the inside. Oh, it's going to be Kip Stevens holding that outside line here as they head for the Casio Triangle. Merges to the inside. They're going to go side by side. No room being given. Down to the inside, Chepelevski. And here we go. Round the outside. No, not going to happen. Trying to go cut back then is Chepelevski down the front straightaway. Going to stay back inside the toe for the moment. At the moment, Melro will gain some points, but at the moment, it's just not enough. The final lap has just started then, and Chepelevski is looking. He's looking hungry for the move. Looks at the inside. No, not going to happen. Through the right-hander of turns 1 and 2. Still, They've got the S's section to go, and that's going to be a very crucial fact here as trying to keep momentum into the left there. Wider line taken by Chepelevsky, looking to try and force the matter here, but he loses that little bit of time just being under that dirty air, just looking to try and find a way through. Not happening here, and he's going to run incredibly close here. Still not quite going to happen. I think Pete Newman's just going to stay on the back of this one for the time being, hoping that something will happen here. And well, Diogo Mauro, he's not going to gain unless they drastically slow down. Looks to the inside, does. Oh, steady and Chepelevsky, 2 wheels on the grass as he heads himself now into the right-hander of Degner, side by side. Second part of Degner still tries to hold it side by side. Still won't work. Still a great scrap for second right now. As you can see, the run to the hairpin now has the inside for this kink right, but has the outside for the hairpin. Overall, they're going to go close. Here on the brakes, they'll run around, and well, it's all going to be about that run, and they are allowing these two to come back into it, and you can see still side by side, they're going to go, and I wonder now if they're close enough, that you're going to see Kip Stevens let through Diogo Mauro. That's going to be a question to see right now. Chepelevsky still on the outside, still looking for the opportunity. We are going to have to cut away to the leader at some stage. No, not going to happen. Cut back! A spoon! Oh, he's trying to dupe him. Not going to happen. Still has the inside line. They will be side by side for 130R, and that's going to be so crucial in that respect. But Julian Janowski right now rounds 130R as the Casio triangle to go. And well, you have to say, he is Mr. Second Race right now, because it's where he picks up most of them. He's doing a sensational job. He was out and away and no one looked back at him. Julian Janowski rounds himself to the line. Look at Diogo Mauro. Yes, we will go back on that one. So it will be Julian Janowski who wins. But Mauro threw a Chepelevsky, and he did it where he needed to as well. And now you've got to see the drive to the line. And well, now you see Stevens will come home in second. Mauro, opportunist there into third. What a move. Shame we just missed it, Conrad.
That was a fantastic move with Stevens and Chepelevsky fighting it out, going through 130R, losing a lot of speed. Mauro just kept his foot in it and had a great run into the Casio triangle, and made that move stick around Chepelevsky.
Yes, most certainly. Let's run you through then your classified results with everyone across the line. Julian Janowski wins in the end, slowing down to 7.7 seconds gap over Kip the Hairflick Stevens, who leads home Diogo Mauro, who gains more points, but you feel it might just not be enough. Delian Chepelevsky taken then. It will get another 4th place finish so far, with Pete Newman coming home across the line in 5th. Peter Van Gool there in 6th. Roy Viveka will lead Homer Train in 7th place with Nathaniel Simpson. Lorne Murray, Max Wright there down in 10th. Cesare Rizzo, Rick Scott, the last car on the lead lap. 2 drivers failing to finish. Ashley Sutton, the BTCC driver, and also Mr. Adam Hadfield as well. We're going to quickly grab for you a driver interview then in that respect. We're going to bring you in championship contender Diogo Mauro right now here, because, well, he's done a fantastic job. And actually, we are going to wait. We are going to take a quick ad break quickly just before we do that. But when we come back, interviews with both Mauro and Pete Newman will come along here just in 1 moment's time. Don't go away. The final race is next.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Quick Candy, what a move. Truex on the outside, contact made. 56 slides it in at 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome then for the final time this season to your BSR MSA Kia World Series, round 36 of 36. We are here at Mie Prefecture, Japan, and in the commentary box alongside myself and Conrad, we have ourselves two of the title rivals, the only two title rivals right now, because we have a certain driver known as Diogo Melo. We also have a certain driver known as Pete Newman. Pete, going to come to you first. It's been a difficult start for you. Of course, you've had your issues with engine, with gearbox coming into this one. Of course, you've had to deal with the wedding that you've had to go to, and you came back with just qualifying starting. So, really, you've been underprepared for this one.
Yeah, to be honest, today's been a bit of a nightmare. My cat's been ill. I had to take him to the vet before the wedding today, and then obviously shooting back from the wedding to get here just for a bit of qualifying. In fact, I only did one qualifying lap, and that was the first lap I'd done on it, to be honest. Another issue was my wheel broke last night, so I had to replace that. Luckily it got delivered this morning, and I just got straight up and away with that, and it worked perfectly, so happy days. That's all you can ask for, really.
Yes, most certainly it is. Diogo, going to come to you now, because you've been in a position where you've pushed yourself throughout the second half of the season, trying to close the gap on your teammate. Of course, priority was going to be on the constructors. That's sorted. Now you've got to go all out. The gap's 12 points to the leader, and it's so crucial for you to make sure that you get that getaway fast, especially knowing that your teammate's ahead of you on the grid.
It's going to be really hard. One race left, so this last race I went through the field, made a few contacts with a few guys. It's not the cleanest race of me, but I had to do what I had to do. So yeah.
Yes, most certainly here as you look at exactly what's going to be going on. Well, Pete, Diogo, I wish you guys the best of luck. It's going to be one of these ones where it is going to be whoever the best man is going to win. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, guys. Have fun.
Thanks.
Conrad, going to come to you, because it's all going to be down on who can make that massive move, who can make themselves the best they can possibly be in this session, in this final opportunity. It's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be so important.
Yeah, I think it's about 12 points between the two drivers at the moment, and if they can both make their way somewhere towards the front from the back, first place gets 100 points. If Melro manages to win the race, he's going to need Pete Newman to finish at least fourth or lower. If Newman finishes fourth, they tie it up and go to a tiebreaker. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult, and like I said, you're going to have a whole bunch of guys that's looking at podiums and first wins of the season going into this race, so they're not going to do them any favors either.
Oh, certainly not. We're going to take a very quick ad break, but when we come back, the race uninterrupted. Final time tonight. Don't go away.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to your BSR MSA Kia World Series, round 36 of 36, Mie Prefecture, Japan. This is Suzuka. This is all going to boil down to this. 12 points split Pete Newman and Diogo Mauro. And the things as things stand right now, if Pete Newman finishes 4th, Diogo Mauro must win the race to take the title. On race wins, of course, will be separated. They'll be equal on points. But since they have 5 races each, whoever wins it will get that one crucial next win to pull themselves up through the field. Conrad, it's certainly going to be an interesting one here. You got to look at it. They're back in evening conditions now. It's all going to be about everyone just staying calm, just staying there, ready, waiting for their opportunities to arise. But most importantly, the grid's thinned out, which makes life even harder for Diogo Mauro to bridge that massive gap.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, and we've got 11 drivers present at the moment. Should catastrophe strike for Pete Newman and he finishes in 11th place, Mauro is still going to need to finish. Looks like 3rd place at the moment, so he's got a really difficult task on his hand, irrespective of where Newman finishes. So yes. We're in for a really interesting one.
Yes, most certainly. And well, you look at what happened with Julian Janowski there. Of course, he did have an abysmal first race, didn't get in to start the grid, and well, he showed exactly what he could do once again in a second race, pulled 8 seconds on everyone else, just not battling as he normally does. And well, 9 race wins in a season and not in the title hunt. Well, that does kind of say that your chance has gone just that little bit, Conrad.
Yeah, at least it bodes well for next season. I believe he'll be here for season 2. But he drove a brilliant race in race 2, and it's just a pity we didn't get to see more of him with the battles going on behind him. It was all sorts of things that took priority over that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a shame in that respect, but you do have to remember here that everyone is racing because they want to. Everyone is racing because they need the points. They want to be there in close proximity. Of course, 12 drivers here, all looking for that chance. And at the moment in this practice session, it's Stelian Czepeleski who's got himself fastest at the moment. It'll be one to see whether he can do so there. Adam Hadfield joins himself up into the fracas. So 13 drivers there as I get a little bit of the hiccups right now. Don't really mind that, but you can see just everyone's just got to stay calm. It's the final race of the season. You have to think that, Conrad, that their nerves are jangling in the 2 title contenders.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure how much of nerves are going to be jangling with everybody else, but certainly those 2. And but I'm positive Pete Newman's got the easier job of the 2 at the moment.
Most certainly, he's held the title since Okayama round number 4 to rounds number 6. The person who held it in the first three, well, that was Jack McIntyre, and well, Pete Newman was there in second, so it just showed you just how crucial points could possibly be. And now you look at Diogo Melro. Melro, he's had to do it the hard way. He's had to fight back from pretty much day one to get himself into the position that he needed to get to. There, he's been a fantastically improved driver. He's found a lot of pace over the mid part of the season, and now it will all come down to who has the guile, who has the nerve. Conrad, championship predictions. Will it be Newman or will it be Melro?
I think Melrose made. He's done everything he had to do to get himself back into this, but I think Pete Newman, that 12 points is just going to be a little bit too far for Melro to breach.
Don't count out anything in the BSR Kia World Series. Anything is possible. We've seen everything. We've seen Lewis Bibby pull out a 10-second gap to win the race. We have seen fantastic scraps on the line. We have seen races decided by a thousandth of a second. But in the land of the rising sun, there is just 5 more seconds before we grid up for the final time this season. And what a season we have been treated to. 13 drivers all looking for the best opportunity then, as we look, as we wait, as we see. Gridding process starts right now, and in the end, as cars now start to grid themselves up, it's Adam Hadfield actually who puts his car up on pole position. Rick Scott alongside him in second place. It'll be Cesare Rizzo followed by Max Wright. Lorne Murray there in fifth, with Nathaniel Simpson sixth. Roy Vervaeke seventh, Peter Van Gool eighth. Pete Newman there in ninth with Stelian Chepelewski alongside 10th. Diogo Maro 11th. Kip the Hairflick Stevens 12th. And Julian Janowski rounds the back of this very, very important grid. There you can see outside line is going to be so crucial. 1 minute then to grid up then for the final time tonight. Just a few cars in the middle of the field missing out on a moment. Looking at Vervaeke, looking at Simpson, looking at Van Gool. Van Gool puts himself on grid right now. Here, so we're just waiting for 2 cars, 1 car now, actually. And, well, we're also waiting for Adam Hadfield as well. It'll be interesting to see whether he makes the grid. Also, here, just still waiting. There is Roy Vervaeke, and Adam Hadfield still waiting on, I believe. He might not make it. Engines revving. We are underway for the final time tonight. Hadfield misses the start. Is it a good start from Rizzo? Yes, but look behind here, because that's a stormer of a getaway from Nathaniel Simpson. And Pete Newman gets off to a flyer as well, as they head themselves down into turn number 1. Are they going to be clean? Are they all going to be tight? Well, you're going to see a little bit of bumping and banging. Cars trying to get through. A little bit of a slide from Lorne Murray. But Pete Newman is up to P number 4. And he has done everything right off the start there, Conrad. Into the S as he come along. His championship's looking more and more secure by the second.
Yeah, and he's going to be watching that clock like a hawk to see how long he's got left in order to take this championship. And he'll be keeping a keen eye on the progress of Melro as well as they go along.
There you can see, slow down penalty right in the middle of the circuit. Has to go. Party of the Red Sea for Nathaniel Simpson. Everyone starts storming past. They head themselves now down towards Degnan for the first time. Mero gets okay with it. Chepelewski now looking himself on the back of Rick Scott. Down in, there's contact. That's Janowski across the road. There he's tangled with Max Wright through Degners. And that's not ideal, Conrad. As you can see, everyone now just starting to get a little bit antsy.
Yeah, like I said, everybody's looking for that best result of the season. Aggression levels, once again, is going to go up a notch.
They can see Pete Newman now in second place right now, and just ahead of him is his own teammate, Mr. Cesare Rizzo, of course. And well, it's a fantastic effort for him. He's up now in first for what has been the first time in a long time. And now Pete Newman, he can cool himself down and he can just wait. There you can see side by side Diogo Melro, Roy Vervaeke, Melro through at the moment, now trying to use the slipstream used by Rick Scott just ahead of them. And now it's going to be all about that run. Head themselves down the back straightaway. Look ahead, Chepelewski and Lorne Murray, they're going to be going at it hammer and tongs. Battle for the podium now. Going to look at 130R, not going to happen here. Melro's waiting alongside, but Conrad is opening left and everything as Melro gets incredibly close to the back of what is Max Wright, or Rick Scott even.
Yeah, he's gonna drive his socks off this time around. Oh, and they're still side by side. Melro is gonna have that one done as they come out of the chicane. Just a little bit of contact with Rick Scott as they do.
Yeah, most certainly. You can see everyone has just tried to get themselves back in the right position here, and they're going to go side by side. Venter is there side by side. Look at the race lead, though. A little bit of a look there from Pete Newman on his teammate. Of course, if you're first, nobody's going to beat you there, so he's thinking about that one first. Diogo Mauro is in 5th. That is not going to be enough for the title challenge right now. Venter is through then on Rick Scott, and he'll have to worry about Van Gool, Stevens and Janowski behind. I doubt they can influence too much at the moment here. It's all going to be down to the lap of the gods here. And you can see already, gap opens up. It's a 2.3 seconds between Chet Pileski and what is the leader, Cesare Rizzo here, Conrad.
Yeah, Cesare Rizzo, he's got an amazing opportunity here with Pete Newman, his teammate just behind him. And he's been looking for that podium finish all season long, so his chances here.
Most certainly there is chances, but you do have to remember Chepelewski is closing down. The Hunter always looking for it. Lovely battle going on. Rick Scott and Peter Van Gool going at it, and now Kip Stevens trying to get involved. We'll look to the inside here for this kink. Outside for the hairpin. Has to back out of it there. Very wise decision. Janowski now looking in. You can see many lines being taken down in, and you're going to see them going to go stereo side by side through 200. Oh no, that's going to back out of it for the time being there. Rick Scott holding on to Van Gool, Stevens and Janowski just for the time being, but we are going to have to look ourselves now at what Stelian Chepelewski's doing, because that gap does not, by any stretch of your imagination here, Conrad, look like 2.3 seconds anymore.
No, it's not. It's less than a second to Rizzo now. Now Pete Newman is going to be looking to make the pass on Rizzo through 130R.
You can see just how important it's going to be. He's got the nose on the brakes. Chepelewski comes in a rate of knots. He gets the brakes on just behind Cesare Rizzo, trying everything to slow that car down. He came in speeding there, and well, he's still behind, but Diogo Mauro is now right on the back of Chepelewski. After all of that, he's looking to try and do everything to push himself through. He's found a way through on Lord Murray, and now you can see side by side Discovery 1, 2 and 4 at the moment here on circuit, and now Chepelewski looking to spoil the party around the outside of Rizzo. Turn number 1, well, there's certainly potential for it here on the brakes. Gets the move. Pretty much sorted. No, it's not done yet. Rizzo wants a piece of action. There's a bit of bumpy indoors. That's going to close everything back up. And now Diogo Mauro, they're on the back. Rizzo being a pain as he does again. There's bumpy in contact. And there's a spear wide there from Chepelewski, who loses 2 positions there. And now Diogo Mauro looking at second from Cesare Rizzo. It's all kicking off, Conrad.
You gotta think Rizzo is not going to put up too much of a fight against his own teammate, especially one fighting for the championship. Yeah, he's led him through nicely, and but Rizzo's going to have Chepelewski all over the back of him once again as they approach the first Degner.
Yeah, they can see, look at the inside, not happening. Second Degner, always a possibility. Late on the brakes goes Rizzo, and he makes sure that he keeps the position there. He has to defend the 1, 2, 3 at the moment. We have not seen any of them this series so far. There hasn't been that sort of dominance, despite the fact that Discovery have done it. Right now, there you can see on the brakes, everyone getting tight, everyone getting antsy, and here comes Chepelewski down to the inside at the 200 right. He'll make the move sorted. There has been half a second gain, though, by what is the car of Diogo Mauro. He will be away for that one for the time being, but Pete Newman's now got the gap that he needs. He's got the gap to secure things, but if things close up, it's not going to be ideal. Rick Scott then losing out to Nathaniel Simpson, and Janowski there behind losing in the train. It's all starting to get close here, Conrad, here, as we're only on the 3rd lap.
Yeah, and unfortunately for us, and I mean, for fighting-wise for the championship, Pete Newman in front, still pulling points on Diogo Mauro. So yeah, Mauro's going to have to pass Newman, and hopefully Chepelewski can get stuck in there from his point of view.
Yes, most certainly down on the brakes into the Casio triangle, and will the psychology here between Mauro and Chepelewski start to take effect here? Because you've got to look at it. Do you let a quicker guy like Chepelewski through and then see him catch up and take the win? Or do you want to be there fighting for the race win and keep the guy behind you trying to close down the guy ahead but potentially lose the time? That is what Mauro's running through his head. That is the problems that he's going to have. He's hemorrhaging points. He needs to score more. He needs Pete Newman to fall down to 4th. He's currently 1st, and that's not going to be enough for Diogo Mauro to make any inroads. And with Chepelewski right behind, that's going to be one you need to focus on. Battle for your podium right now. And it's all coming down to this then. Into the left-hander then. They come along of the S section, then the right here, Conrad. It's so understated how crucial this section is. It doesn't look like they're gaining too much time, but it's all about the flow.
Yeah, you can see these guys at the front hugging the curbs really nicely as they go through those S's, even going up through Dunlop Curve. And like I said before, if you just get offline a little bit, overcook it into one of those bends, then you're fighting to get it back for the rest of it.
Yes, most certainly. We're going to look further back down the field here. Battle for fourth going on right now. Cesare Rizzo in a scrap with Lorne Murray here in the 17 machine right now as they head themselves down to the hairpin. Is there going to be anything going to go on there? No, not for the time being here for the moment. And well, there is Roy Viveka just behind them looking to try and tag in on the action. So it's certainly not over by any stretch right now. If you look, Pete Newman's been closed, and he has been closed massively so far. Remember, last time by, he lost half a second to Diogo Mero, and that half a second might go again. Mero and Chepelewski might put themselves in. It's all down to who's going to take that fourth place, and well, at the moment it just doesn't seem to be anyone, so it might just have to be down to a bit of shenanigans, and nobody wants that. Down the back straight they come along here on lap number 4 of what is probably going to be 10 once again here into the left-hander of 130R. They come along. Well, for the time being, parity is going to stay as it is, Conrad.
Yeah, we've seen Melrose just struggling a little bit to close up to the back of people through the whole evening, unless they were fighting in front of him. But he's really going to get really aggressive over the curbs and through these corners to get right onto the back of Pete Newman and get involved in a little fight.
9/10 of a second quicker that time by. Newman is now feeling the pressure. Melrose is pulling out all the stops into turn number 1, and don't discount Chepelewski, who is looking for the moment to pounce and could be the benefactor that spoils the party. He smells a race win. He's had 2 fourth place finishes and is looking for that very crucial podium. Hasn't happened for him so far. Now as you look into the S section again, Pete Newman just trying to hug that racing line. Chepelewski has a look then to the inside. No, doesn't happen there. Has to back out of it slowly into Dunlop Curve. And they're all just waiting, biding their time. They know they're quicker, but they can't make the move. Round the outside looks here. Diogo Mero, is he going to get enough top speed on it? No, he's not. He's going to have to back out of it. And that's going to allow Chepelewski to have a look. No, not at Degner 1. Oh, they got so close there. They almost thought about it. Chepelewski almost thought about it, Conrad. Didn't quite happen. Run for the hairpin.
And I promise you, this is exactly not what Newman and Melrose wanted, as somebody with the reputation of Chepelewski, crawling all over the back of them as they're trying to fight it out for a championship.
No, certainly not. You can see Chepelewski is desperate to find a way through. He doesn't care about the championship fight. He's just come in for these 3 races. He just wants to score some points. He just wants to score another race win, which we know he can do. He is so esteemed as a driver, but now Melrose, Newman, this is a fantastic scrap going on here. Down into Spoon, second part. Melrose runs a little bit wider than through entry, but he gets a good exit out of it. And now you can see the slipstream effect starts to come in. The toe, it's not going to help Chepelewski here, who technically gets a double draft, but it doesn't quite close him up as quickly as he would like here. Looking at Newman here, Melrose having a little look at 130R. He's going to back out of it, but now you look at the Casio triangle. Is there going to be anything that materializes in that respect? That's one you've got to be looking at. Defensive line taken, down in. Melrose looks at it around the outside. They get close. They get really close. He runs the curb. Chepelewski wants it. Melrose loses it. Slides, turns around. Championship over and done with, you have to say. Melrose drops 4th, 5th, 6th. Oh my word. It's all gone wrong, and he looked at it, he took a bite out of the cherry, and he took too much, and he has been bitten back afterwards.
Yeah, I'm afraid, unless something goes horribly wrong for Newman, that is all she wrote. The fat lady is starting to warm up the voice. She is going to get singing very soon.
That's the move that has decided this championship, we have to think. And Melrose, he put in 35 hard-worked races for it, and it came down to one small mistake that has cost him a battle for the race lead. Gap starting to open up. Still a battle for your podium going on. Battle for 4th there. Roy Viveka running a little bit wide there with Cesare Rizzo, but there is still half your race to go. And for Diogo Mero here, Conrad, he still has chance to pull himself back through the field.
Yeah, he's going to have to put in a really good drive now. He's only 4 seconds behind Pete Newman, but he's got a whole raft of cars between the two of them, and he's only going to lose time trying to get past them. He's really going to need something bad to happen to Newman just to bring the fight back to him.
Well, look out, because Stelian Chepelevsky there is sitting in second, biding his time, looking for the opportunity to put himself into first. Pete Newman can relax now. He knows the gap is there. It's opened up. It's exactly what he needed, but for the time being, he would like to probably stay out in front. Runs wide through the first apex there, misses it completely into the second part. Now starting to feel the pressure here. He did have a chance to relax, and you cannot relax for a second. You've always got to go 100%, otherwise you are not pushing. You're not a true racing driver. Chepelevsky's having a look. He's in the slipstream, in the toe. He'll look to the inside, surely. Yes, he does. How hard will Pete Newman fight it? Into the left of 130R. He is going to run it around the outside. And while they are going to be respectful, they're both going to keep it inside the white lines. Down on the brakes then, down into the Casio triangle. Not going to happen here this time by Conrad. But you have to think the gap's starting to close up once again.
Yeah, when Chepelevsky has got, you can see he's the faster guy. He's just gone find a way past Newman at the moment. But even, again, Newman did it in race 2. So Chepelevsky is he's going to have a look down into turn 1.
Side by side, here we go! Chepelevsky looking, Newman still on the outside, but a worse run means that he's gonna probably have to wait behind. Chepelevsky takes the race lead, so crucial, and Melro all over Roy Vervaeke right now. That's gonna be one you need to see battle for 5th on circuit. It's all starting to heat up here. We got ourselves about 4 laps to go of this race. Melro has another look. Doesn't quite happen. Now Chepelevsky can break, and if he does, it makes Melrose life a whole lot harder here, because you look at it, Murray hasn't closed in enough, and you look at Vervaeke now, having a look here, he's going to have to be running outside at Degner. Here it's going to be Bray on the brakes, contact, running it through the gravel, and he keeps it together somehow, and he keeps himself with Roy Vervaeke, but it costs him time, precious time that he doesn't need to lose, Conrad.
Yeah, dearie me. I mean, you got to feel for Melro at the moment. I mean, he's put himself in the right position to make a fight of it. But 2 contacts, and yeah, he's just not making any progress right now.
No, certainly not. You can see he runs it through 200R right now, and you can see the gaps starting to not form. But you can see Chepelevsky just has the breathing room at the moment on Pete Newman. Into Spooner come along, and Newman has to deal behind Lorne Murray, Cesare Rizzo, his own teammate, Vervaeke and Melro. That one still brewing, but behind that, there isn't really anything. Peter Van Gool's had an incident somewhere on circuit there. He is way down the order, 1 minute 35 seconds. But you look at this one right now, Janowski also involved in that one as well. I'm getting word. But Melro closing down on Roy Vervaeke right now. This is the battle for 5th on circuit, and Melro's time is running out. He's looking for some majesty. He is looking for something that he just needs. He needs a bit more spark, a bit more guile, a bit more spunk, but it's not working right now. Down into the Casio triangle, still not close enough. Time's running out, Conrad.
Yeah, just under 5 minutes to go, and you know, the frustrating for Melro is if he looks down the straight right now, he can see Newman. He can see where that championship's going.
Yeah, most certainly you can see Newman all over the back of Chepelevsky still. He still thinks he can get a race win, but how much of this is just holding formation? Chepelevsky doesn't have to push too hard here right now. He's got the lead. He's got to make sure that everyone else does it behind him, but Melrose through. Melrose through on Vervaeke up. It's a P5. Now he's got to chase his teammate, and I don't think there'll be too much there in animosity between them, and it will be all about what Diogo Melro can do. It's so difficult to close that sort of time, 3 seconds, in the space of what is going to be 3 laps. He's got to go a second a lap quicker than the leaders. That's so bold, but if anyone can do it here, Conrad, Melro can.
Yeah, and he's let's not forget, there's Lorne Murray is not too far behind Newman, so there's a chance for a battle and time lost, and Rizzo I don't think is going to put up too much of a fight if Melro gets up to the back of him.
Yeah, most certainly you can see the run down into what is this hairpin once again here. You can see wider lines being taken by Murray, wider line there taken by Rizzo, wider line taken by what is Diogo Melro there, and now you can see the train starting to form here, but the gaps aren't decisive here. It's not just 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. You can see Chepelevsky trying to break. Compare the lap times, 2:08.8 from Pete Newman last time by. Melro did a 2:09 flat. He is not closing, and actually Cesare Rizzo's going to run wide, and I think he's going to leave the door open. Yes, very wise decision, lets his teammate through, up one more position now, P4 for Melro, but it's a long haul now to Lorne Murray, who's up in a podium for the first time in a long time, and now that's going to be something, Conrad. That's going to be the understated story. Murray has done a stunning job.
Yeah, he's kept his nose clean so far in the race, and he's one of those guys that's going to be looking for one of those podium results for the season. So when if Melro can get up to the back of him, he's not going to give that up very easily.
Yeah, let's look at the times then as they cross the line. Get our predictions going up. Diogo Melro, he crosses the line, does himself a 2:07.6. That's a great lap time. Compare that 2:08.1 from Pete Newman. That's half a second, and half a second is not enough here, Conrad. Half a second will not get Diogo Melro up to the top. Side by side behind, Cesare Rizzo, Roy Vervaeke. They're going to go at it here, still through turn number 2, and they're going to look at it through turn 3, but Cesare Rizzo holds on for the time being, doing everything he needs to do in that respect. But Pete Newman's just pseudo-battling right now. He's just staying behind Czepelewski. Knows how quick he is, knows he's going to be consistent throughout the entirety of the lap, so can use him as a brake marker. Not the wisest decision, but a very brave decision if he decides to do it.
Yeah, and I don't think Newman's got any real pressure on him, apart from just to make it to the end of the race in one piece and the position that he's in. And it's Melro that's got to be doing all the work right now.
Yeah, most certainly you can see that gap not coming down as much as he would have admired, as much as he would have wanted here. But Lord Murray is closing that gap down. That does not look like a second and a half from what it was. Here it's all starting to bunch up a little bit. Big lock up then, down into the hairpin. Diogo Melro just still not quite close enough. He's in 4th and Newman's in 2nd. He's got 3 cars to get through and hopes that Newman loses 2, and that could be just it. But it's not happening right now. It's just not materializing. He had himself up in the top 3. He made the mistake earlier on. We thought that was the championship deciding move. He ran himself through the gravel down at what is Degner, and he's still going. He's still there. 3.2 when they last crossed the line. I think it might not be enough, Conrad. There's one more lap after this.
Yeah, we've seen how quickly it can change in this championship, and with just over a lap to go, Melro's going to be having to hope for that. He's going to need a miracle. He really needs now to win the race, and for Newman to drop down the order to at least 4th place.
Yeah, there you can see Pete Newman then heading through the Casio Triangle for the penultimate time. Lord Murray takes a wider berth, and he's going to drop himself off the back of this one. I don't think he'll be close enough in order to sort this one out in its entirety. Final lap, down onto the right-hand side they go. Here, Newman, also Czepelewski. Back across the track they come along, down in towards turn number 1 on circuit. Not close enough for Pete Newman. I don't think he's too bothered about the race win, the 6th race win. I think he'll be a fool if he decides to go for it. But you have to say, he has done everything right all season, all over the back of Czepelewski right now. All looking to try and make this one very close. He has the opportunity, looks again, doesn't quite happen there. Through Melro, not close enough. Murray, not close enough. Gap 3 seconds to Melro. Melro is running out of time, and he's running out of corners. And now Pete Newman through Dunlop, which holds the death of Jules Bianchi, the late, great Jules Bianchi. And now into Degner they come along. 1, here they go. Just really calm then from Pete Newman. Turn number 2 of the Degners. Here, slower down, 2nd gear, back on the power. Very lovely, very calm, very conservative from Newman. Through all the troubles, through all the adversity, he's held on. He's running behind Czepelewski. Down into the left-hander they come along. Big lock-up behind, though, from Lord Murray. And Melrose closing that one. But I think the gaps are starting to just be a little bit too much. 200 right. And now the run to Spoon coming along. Newman's done everything he could possibly do this race. Melrose done everything and more he could possibly do this race. It's not worked out in the best of intentions for one Discovery driver, but one had the advantage. One's kept himself in. He's got a few corners to go. Run out of Spoon, and now the run to 1:30R. Pete Newman's done everything right. Czepelewski, he will be the understated name who's come in for the final 3 races. 2 4th place finishes, and probably a race win to boot as well. Into 1:30R they come along for the final time this season. And now, just the Casio Triangle remains. And immortality. It's just so bittersweet. It's just so brilliant. And well, you have to say he's done everything right. Pete Newman takes the championship at Suzuka at the final race. It will be Stelian Czepelewski who will take the win. And Diogo Melro, oh, what could have been? What could have been for him? Only 4th place. It won't be enough. It's Simpson 5th, Vervaeke 6th, Rizzo 7th. Stevens has crashed it at the final corner. It's all gone wrong there for him. Rick Scott coming across the line. Janowski a mile back as well. What a season, what a final race. But Pete Newman is your driver's champion via BSR MSA Kia World Series for what is the Season 3 build of this, the iRacing service. Absolutely fantastic, Conrad.
Yeah, you really couldn't have written the script for this series any better, especially if you consider how many points is up for grabs for each single race. And 12 weeks of racing, and it all came down to this one final race of the season. But you got to say, Simpson, he got that gap at the beginning of the season, and he's held on to it very well through consistent finishes all through the 12 weeks, and thoroughly deserved.
Thoroughly deserved champion indeed. Peter Van Gool then heading himself through. Julian Janoski will come to the line then. He'll come home in 11th position, but what has to be said, Peter Van Gool now will run himself down towards the Casio Triangle. Didn't have the best of races here in the end. Into the right, now the left, and now you have to say it has been a fantastic season. He'll be the last of the cars then to come across the line. And now we will run you through your final classified results then. For the last time this season, around 36 of Suzuka, this is how it unfolded. Delian Chepelevsky takes his first race win of the season in his third race there. Fantastic result for him. He'll take the win by just over a tenth of a second over your champion, Pete Newman, in the number 10 Discovery Machine. Lorne Murray will come across in third and will be very understated there. Fantastic result to get a podium in that respect. Diogo Melro will come across the line in fourth and Nathaniel Simpson fifth. Roy Viveka sixth. Cesare Rizzo seventh. Max Wright, Kip Stevens, Rick Scott, Julian Janoski, Peter Van Gool, and Adam Hadfield failing to make the race start. Well, Conrad, you just cannot write the script in a series like this. It has been absolutely fantastic, and once again, we have just seen what can happen when everything is so important.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant season, and didn't take anything away from Diogo Melro either. I mean, he kept in there, getting the good results all through the season as well to keep this championship alive and to bring it down to this by the third race at Suzuka. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be one to watch out for in season 2 as well.
Yes, most certainly. We're going to bring you now your driver's champion, Pete Newman. You are now the BSR MSA Kia World Series drivers champion. Just how do you feel, mate?
Yeah, pretty elated, to be honest. It's an awesome result, and yeah, pretty glad.
Yeah, pretty glad. Oh, he doesn't sound too excited, but trust me, he is. Here and well,
it's just been one hell of a day. I was just so unprepared for that, and Diogo's just driven absolutely outstanding today. And I kind of feel like I don't deserve it. Well, not just today, like throughout the season. And season 2 is going to be his. I'm not going to be able to stop him.
Yeah, well, Season 2 is certainly going to be something in the future you need to look out for. Of course, you are going to be the driver who has the target on his back now in 2 weeks' time when we head to the Southern Circuit of Silverstone. Do the tracks for the second season suit you? Are you going to be in a position where there's going to be added pressures being the champion coming in?
To be honest, that's the pressure off my shoulders that I put on myself. Obviously, I've not won a Kia Touring Car Championship before, and I've got one under my belt now, so yeah, good things can only come from it.
Most certainly good for those who comes that way. There is Pete Newman, there is your driver's champion in the number 10 Discovery Machine, and what a race result that is. We're going to bring you now in the series organizer Cesare Rizzo right now, and Cesare, well, it's been a fantastic season. You couldn't have looked for unprecedented success, not only with the series itself, but your team Discovery.
Yeah, the season, firstly, I mean, thanks to all the drivers, it's up to them that the season has been so good. And as for my team, they've just been phenomenal. Pete and Diogo have had a fantastic season. And it's good to see them right towards the end there, coming down to the wire, having a good tussle. I mean, we've had a bit of stick from the rest of the guys saying, oh yeah, you guys aren't fighting it out amongst each other and everything. But Team Discovery is all about the team. And it's all about sort of getting the team first. And once we had that secured, it was every man for himself. And Pete and Diogo had a great tussle at the end there, which was really, really good to see.
Yeah, most certainly. And now all eyes will start gearing up then for the second season. Of course, new tracks will come in, new tracks out. It's a fantastic calendar. We're going to Silverstone 3 times, run the Southern, run the National, run the International course. Of course, final race of the season will be Daytona this time by, which is always going to be interesting. And well, also round 4's got to take a special mention as well, because it'll be the first time ever we head ourselves to the Autodromo Nazionale Enzo Idino Ferrari, otherwise known as Imola.
Yeah, when we heard that Imola was coming up, we just thought it was a must. And during this week, when we haven't been practicing for this race, we've been giving Imola a go. And my word, the track just suits the Kia down to the ground. It's such a fantastic track. We had a few fun races on there through the week, which was great fun. And along with Imola, as you mentioned, you know, after the performance that the guys put in at Daytona this season, I think it's only fitting to have a track like that for the final race, because it will really push people right down to the line. And yeah, there's a few surprises for next season. One thing I could probably say at the minute is the full reverse grids are going to be gone, and we're going to be giving you guys in the commentary booth a spinny wheel that's going to decide the reverse grids from now on. So that should be good fun as well.
Most certainly, the trademarked wheel is back from the Pro Series, and that is going to be something which everyone will be going, ooh, spinny. It's going to be certainly interesting. Thank you for joining us, Ches, there. Thank you indeed. We're going to join us now with the guy who finished second in the championship here, Diogo Maro. Diogo, massive commiserations. It just seemed to be a little bit too much in the end for you.
Yeah, my car started bouncing on the last corner. But I would like to congratulate Pete, Discovery, and the whole World Series for this awesome season.
Yeah, most certainly. And well, what happened for you is it just seemed that the start wasn't perfect enough. You managed to fight your way through the field up into that top 3 fight, but it just seemed to me that Stellian just made the entire thing happen there. He just got himself into a position where he could push, he could fight, he could scrap, he could claw, and in the end it just seemed that he got a little bit distracted by that.
Yeah, a bit. When I saw Pete on first place, I thought, oh well, let's see. And I think I needed to be like 4 places above him. I'm not sure.
Yes, certainly. Well, it was first place you needed, and then Pete needed a 3rd place or higher in that respect. So it was a difficult fight. You would have needed other people coming in. It was getting close, but at the end of the day, you can gear up then for the second season. You can look forward to knowing that you were really close in the title fight. You did everything you could today. It was an effort well expended in the end, you'd have to say.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season. More drivers, more teams. It's probably going to be a lot of fun as well.
Yes, most certainly. Thank you for joining us, Diogo. Then second in the championship, 4th in the race. So, Conrad, final words from you on this season. It's been absolutely wonderful to broadcast over.
It has certainly been a wonderful series to broadcast over, and I mean, it's been gripping stuff from start to end, really. I mean, looking at those 2 guys, right from round 2, only separated by between 40 and 50 points, and taking it all the way down to the wire. It's really been interesting.
Really been interesting indeed, but that is all we have time for tonight. Big thank you then to Conrad Venter. Big thank you to Samuli Kumo behind the cameras. Big thank you for Cesare Rizzo for organising the series. Big thank you to the BSR Kia World Series itself for being so welcoming and warming. Big thank you then to Crest Glazing Limited. Big thank you to JCL Sim Racing Equipment to be faster. And well, at the end of all that has just come along here on iRacing Live here by Apex Racing TV, Pete Newman puts his name in lights, smells the champagne, puts himself up amongst the immortals. He's a driver's champion, and he has thoroughly deserved it. Good night.